What is sexual chemistry? Sexual chemistry is one of those things that we all recognize, but we can't always explain. You meet someone, and within seconds, sometimes before you've even spoken, something shifts. The air feels different. Your body responds. There's a pull you can't quite name or understand. And then you meet someone else who checks every single box on paper, and they're attractive and interesting and available and nothing. No spark, no charge. You want to feel it, but you don't. So what is sexual chemistry actually? And when I was younger, I thought it was about looks or pheromones, some mysterious, uncontrollable force, destiny. But sexual chemistry actually isn't random, and it's not physical. It's a conversation happening beneath the surface between two bodies, two people who are present enough to feel it. And there are very specific ingredients that create chemistry between two people. And once you understand those ingredients, you can start to see why chemistry shows up with some people and not with others. Here's the first thing to understand. Sexual chemistry is not the same as physical attraction. We think that they are. But you can find someone attractive without feeling any chemistry. You can think they're beautiful, admire them in so many ways, and still feel nothing when you're standing next to them, when you're in conversation with them. Because attraction is visual, but chemistry is visceral. Attraction happens in your mind. Chemistry happens in the body. It's a feeling of aliveness, of electricity. You know, when they walk into the room, they pull you in, like you feel your chest. You feel like your belly flip. The awareness of the space between you. And here's what most people miss. Chemistry isn't just about the other person. It's about what happens between you and them. It's co-created, which means it's not entirely out of your control. The first ingredient of sexual chemistry is presence, not performance, not trying to be attractive or interesting or impressive. Presence. When someone's truly present in their body, in the moment, not performing or managing or trying to control the interaction, you feel it. Their attention isn't scattered. They're not halfway in their head rehearsing what they want to say next or monitoring how they're trying to come across. They're just here. And that presence creates a kind of gravitational pull because a lot of us aren't present. Most people are anxious, distracted, performing a version of themselves they think you will like. But chemistry doesn't respond to performance. It responds to realness. When someone is grounded in their body, when they're not trying to be anything other than what they are, something in you relaxes. And in that relaxation, attraction has room to build. There's a principle in tantric philosophy that says embodiment precedes connection. You can't create chemistry if you're not in your body. If you're in your head managing the interaction, chemistry has nowhere to land. But when you're present, when you're breathing and aware of your own aliveness, your own existence, that's where chemistry has the space to become possible. The second ingredient is polarity. Chemistry requires difference, tension, a sense that you and the other person are distinct, separate, but drawn together. In tantric philosophy, this is sometimes described as masculine and feminine energy, but you don't need to use that language to understand the principle. Chemistry happens when there's a dynamic between two people that creates charge. One person leans forward, the other holds space. One initiates, the other responds. One leads, the other follows, and then it shifts, it switches. It's not about a rigid role. It's about movement and responsiveness. The sense that something is happening between you, not just alongside you. If two people are both cautious, polite, agreeable, and careful not to disturb anything, nothing ignites. Chemistry needs a little friction because chemistry lives in the space between closeness and distance, between knowing and mystery, between safety and risk. If everything seems smooth and predictable, there's no tension. And without tension, there's no charge. This is why people sometimes feel more chemistry with someone who challenges them slightly, somebody who maintains a sense of self. It's not about playing games. It's about staying differentiated, remaining yourself even as you move forward, with somebody else. That difference creates the space where desire lives. You can think of that friction like an orgasm. There has to be that friction, that contraction, so that you can have that orgasmic expansion. The third ingredient is nervous system attunement. Sexual chemistry isn't just physiological. It's a full embodied somatic experience. When you're with someone and you feel that pull, your body lights up with sensations. Your nervous systems are communicating to each other. You're reading each other's cues constantly. Micro expressions, tones of voice, breathing patterns, the way you hold your bodies. And chemistry happens when someone feels safe enough. When you feel safe enough, they feel safe enough, you both feel safe enough with each other to relax and alive enough to feel desire. That's the sweet spot. If there's only safety, total comfort, no edge, it can feel warm, loving, but not electric. If there's only aliveness, passion, intensity, unpredictability, emotional chaos, it can feel overwhelming rather than magnetic, and you can't sink into it. You can't surrender to that chemistry. Chemistry requires both safety and aliveness. Think about a person who feels exciting to you, but completely unstable. And now think about a person who feels super safe, but just boring. You're flatlined on chemistry. Chemistry lives somewhere in the middle. And that's why chemistry can shift over time. In the beginning, novelty creates aliveness. But if safety never develops, chemistry becomes exhausting. In long-term relationships, safety deepens. But if aliveness disappears, if that novelty, newness disappears, the chemistry can fade. The couples who maintain chemistry over time learn to hold both, grounded and playful and secure and unpredictable. And it can be really easy just to add little tiny things into your life. Maybe you just go to a different restaurant than you always go to on a Friday night. Maybe it's just a different bottle of wine that you share together. Maybe you decide to take a trip or a vacation someplace completely outrageous and adventurous that you've both always wanted to explore. All you have to do is just decide that you want to create that novelty. You want to explore something new with the person that you love. And you can reignite that passion. Here's something else for you that may sound counterintuitive. Chemistry is often stronger when there's restraint. Not withholding, not manipulation, not game playing, but the ability to hold tension without immediately resolving it. In tantric practice, there's an understanding that desire builds in the space before release, that the charge between two people intensifies when it's allowed to build rather than rushed. Think about the difference between somebody who's immediately giving you everything, constant texting, total availability, no mystery, and somebody who is fully present when they're with you, but doesn't collapse the space between you. The second person often creates more chemistry, not because they're manipulating you, but because they're allowing longing to exist. And longing is erotic. Certainty is not. When someone is too available, too eager, too quick to close the gap, something subtle happens. The nervous system stops reaching. But when there's space, when you're together and it's intense, and then you're apart and you miss them, chemistry has room to grow. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about not rushing intimacy and allowing connection to unfold organically, because chemistry isn't something you force. It's something that builds when the conditions are right. So, what does this mean practically? Chemistry tends to appear when someone is present, not performing or anxious. When there is polarity, enough difference to create charge, when your nervous systems are attuned, you feel safe and alive. And when there's space, no rushing, not collapsing into each other. If one of those elements is missing, chemistry struggles to build. And that doesn't make anybody wrong, it just means the conditions aren't there. Here's the empowerment part. You can't force chemistry, but you can influence the conditions where it becomes more likely by being present, by staying in your body, by not rushing intimacy, but maintaining your own sense of self. Chemistry isn't something that simply happens to you. It appears when two people are present enough to actually feel each other. Sexual chemistry is real and visceral, and it's not to be taken on a surface level. It's a conversation between two people who are present, differentiated, attuned, and unrushed. It's what happens when you're in your body and when you're not performing, and when you allow tension and space to exist without trying to control them. And when you understand that, you stop chasing chemistry and start creating the conditions where it can actually grow. I'm Kristen, and I'm so happy that you're here. If this is resonating with you, I'm curious about your experiences and how you have experienced chemistry and what you've learned about what you thought was chemistry and then turned out not to be what you thought it would be or what you wanted it to be. Let me know in the comments below. Please like if you enjoyed this conversation. Please subscribe if you would like to hang out with me a little bit more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know when I go live. I do journal with me and work with me, co-working and co-creative, co-intuitive nervous system regulation sessions where we just hang with each other, listen to chill music and chat. And I hope to see you there. Bye.